Kia ora, good afternoon. I'm just having the best day. I'm telling you, I'm having the best day. So, I was watching just like accidentally on my YouTube last night some bloopers from one of my favourite movies of all time, Young Frankenstein. And I realised that's one of the genres of movies that we haven't done yet is like slapstick comedy, like your Mel Brooks style sort of Spaceballs, Young Frankenstein. So I put a pin in it, and now I'm re-looking at that pin, and what I was thinking was, Young Frankenstein is a black and white, and we don't actually have a black and white movie. So I'm thinking my slapstick movie could be a black and white, but what I was thinking was, remember like Haunted House and like a bit of Young Frankenstein, I guess the way that they wrote it. But I was thinking, with the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft, kind of, this is a new seed, so I still need to work on it. But what I was thinking was having some sort of whodunit, like Cluedo, like a murder mystery thing, but with musicians, like having it set around about the 1920s, because then it gives us an excuse to have all the actors in that dress up like, 1920s, 1930s, and we're all the band members in that get to dress up. I just love the idea of decking out the Amber Wilkinson, my haunted house, decking it out like 1920s, 1930s style. When they were doing the Charleston and they had like the, yeah, you know what I mean. So I was thinking like either the musicians get invited to play during this weekend party and then there's a murder that they have to solve, or whether the musicians get invited to the house, having it where one of the musicians is like, come to the house and if you can survive it, this, that and the other, like you get the house, or, that kind of thing. But I just like the idea of turning it into some sort of slapstick murder mystery, like kind of like Cluedo, but with musicians, like where the musicians have to go and be in this haunted house, or this house where this murder is going to take place. It's haunted, there's murders, it's like a whodunit sort of Cluedo thing, but where the actors are, like a double bass player and a violin player and a piano player, but where they have to dress up like 1920s, 1930s, but make it a black and white, but a slapstick. So like Young Frankenstein, but Cluedo, but involving musicians. Because I was just sitting listening to some Yodok cello, and I was just thinking, what if a band of musicians, like the ones he plays with, have to go to this house, okay, the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft, because it's a Halloween house. It gives us an excuse to put the house in the movie, which will bring tourists in. But what are they doing in the house? Well, they're getting invited to play, and then there's a murder, and they've got to, solve the murder. And, okay, so bring in Cluedo, make it black and white, make it slapstick, because Young Frankenstein is one of my favourite movies in the whole world. And back in the Dungeon of Doom, I've got a Young Frankenstein action figure that I got for Christmas that's still boxed, that I'm determined to rescue. One of the things that I want to do is with my own merchandise in that, I want to, when I've got money, one of the things that I personally want to invest in is collector's items, toys, for my own personal thing, because I love toys, and we're going to have our own range. And my nephew Jacob, who's going to be my editor for my comic book, and he's also going to be in charge of toy merchandise and that. So he'll get to travel the world with all the promoting all our comics and that with the Comic Con, but also the toy cons. And he's gonna keep an eye out for certain toys for me to buy. And my boys and I had decided, because all our toys are going to be handmade and just quality toys, I want them to be have an investable future. People buy them knowing that 50 years down the line they're going to be worth something. I want my toys to end up on shows like Antiques Roadshow. So I've got this Young Frankenstein action figure still in the box that I'm determined to rescue, because Young Frankenstein is absolutely one of my favourite movies. And this little short dropped in my lap, and I thought, oh, we haven't thought of a black and white, and we haven't done a slapstick. We've got musical comedies and we've got rom-coms and all of that, but we don't have a slapstick Spaceballs kind of homage to Mel Brooks. I adore him. I just adore everything about him. Him and Gary Marshall, I just love so much, just adore them. And it would be a great way to pay my respects, but also because we'd get to decorate the house and the studio to look 1920s style, and then all the actors would be able to dress up, and then we'd have an excuse to bring in, actors who could play music. Maybe I can be nice to Yo Doctello and say, do you have any friends that want to act in a movie for the kids? But they have to play their instruments. Double bass, cello, violin, piano, trumpets, trombones, that sort of thing. They're the sort of musicians that they had in those days, eh? So, yeah, so that's like another thing that I've created. It's like I'm getting so inspired at the moment that my catalogue of movies and stories and books and that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm getting so excited. I'm just getting so excited. So yeah, a black and white. We'll have a black and white. I did think about doing War Babies in black and white, but I think that would actually be better in colour, but make it look a little bit make it look like how it would have looked if it was filmed like in the 40s or 50s in colour, with that slight, where it was just barely colour. That one's going to be a heartbreaker. I know for a fact that when people come out of the theatre having watched War Babies, they'll be in tears. I know I will be. Writing it, like when I came up with it, I was getting emotional. And it's about the Mighty Battalion, telling this, because there's nothing about the Mighty Battalion and the role that the Mighty Battalion played in World War II, and my Uncle Nick was in the Mighty Battalion. And so, so I want to tell the story of the Mighty Battalion, so it means that I get to look for Māori actors, and it'll have to be, some of it will have to be filmed in New Zealand, which is great. So that's another corner of the globe brought into the Fire family. And so I'm going to need people who can speak French and German and Polish and Yugoslav, like all of them, when it comes to like the World War II and my Quantum Menace, anything to do with like the wars with Quantum Menace and that, so Quantum Menace sagas. And so so I don't have a name for it yet, for my slapstick. I'm just calling it slapstick for now. But yeah, for whatever reason, I think I'm probably going to go along the lines of the musicians get invited to play during this big soiree. Excuse me. And like they get invited and they turn up, but there's no one there. But there's like a letter saying, just play every night at this time. and then the band members disappear, or there's someone in the house but they turn up dead, and back in those days, phones, transport, blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the line I'm going down. But I'm going to need some musicians who are up for being actors as well. So we'll just see what happens. I need a name for it, but like I said, we'll get to use the haunted house, Amber's house, the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft will be able to use it, and then it'll bring the tourists in. When we open up the gates and everything, it'll be like, oh my God, that's the house from Slapstick. Oh my God, that's the house from the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft musical. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Thinking. I'm having the best time. Today's been a pretty awesome day. It's like, how do I explain it? It's like the Lord has cleared the path. It's just like He's gone, and all the debris and dirt and blah that was hanging around, that was hanging off me, has just been blown off. And I just see this clear path. And the future is bright, and it's my fire. And now it's just like I can't stop coming up with different ideas. If I am lucky enough to be able to build my schools in other countries, we'll be able to make a ton of stuff all in one go, which I'm hoping I can, because then it means by the time my server has been all programmed and designed and is up and running, we'll have like a slew of movies and TV shows and that to throw upon it, so that when we're ready to start selling subscriptions and advertising it, like Netflix and all that. I mean, it's that but more, depending on what package you want to buy. We got a lot there ready to go. But if we only end up being able to sort of have our server within the hotel and with our staff and the people in my town and like Switzerland maybe, I've got a few decades of stuff to keep everybody busy. I'm just hoping that that's not the case, because it's almost getting to the point where it's getting hard to choose which ones to make next. My dating app first, obviously, and the Amber Rose, and then we'll do the Quantum Menaces, and then it's like, but then what? We've got the TV shows to make. We've got the cartoons. We've got the cartoons and stuff to make. I mean, it's going to be a couple of years to get all the programming and stuff for my servers. Like, I call it my server, but yeah, we need to be distracted for a couple of years to get everything up and running. So yeah, that's another movie. That's a pin that I've kind of, my Flung Shoe Master. I sort of got that storyline ready to go. And I'm still working on the Amber Wilkinson School of Witchcraft musical. But until we have the house, until I'm able to build the house, I'm not, like, that's not something that needs to be hurried. Like, I can take my time with that over the next couple of weeks, obviously, but yeah. I love Young Frankenstein. So it's like, yeah, that's what we've got to do. We've got to do a black and white slapstick, and it's going to be set in the 1920s, 1930s, like Bioshock. I love that game. When Bioshock first came out, absolutely scared the crap out of me. I've got my horror movie, the music box, which is going to be an animated horror, but it's a short, and it's based on my sister's music box. If if you know the story of the music box, which I was talking about in my last live, my son and I decided to turn that into a horror movie, just an animated short horror movie. And all my horror movies will only be played at Halloween for the Halloween month. So they're not something you'll have access to all the time. They'll only come out for Halloween. So yeah. So here we go. So now I've got to work on that storyline. I'll tell you what, I'm having the best time ever. It's like I'm just sitting in my little protective bubble, and God's like, what about this one? And what about this one? And do this and do that. And look, I'll clear the path, and I'll get all the energy cleared and all nice and clean for you. And what about this one? And how about this one? It's like, oh my God. It's like, I'm not, I can't stop creating. I'm like a, I'm like a waterfall. It just keeps coming out. Because I'm being so inspired by the music I'm listening to. That's what I'm saying. I was listening to the Yodok Cello. I've got him on my Spotify. And when I listen to his music, it just inspires me. And I think that's what my dream was talking about, was to follow the Cello Brick Road. Whenever I listen to his music, it's just like my mind goes, and it's like this fireworks of ideas. And it's like that movie, that TV show, that video game, that this, that blah. You know, I've got probably about 150 creative ideas for books, movies, video games, TV shows, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So it really is going to have to be all hands on deck, and I'm thinking, how cheeky would it be of me to try and track him down and say, hey, do you have any musician friends who want to be in a black and white movie? It's for the kids. It's for the kids. It's, you know, it's for the kids because they're the ones that are going to be helping us make, you know, like for the kids that want to get into movies and all of that. So it's for the kids. You'd be keeping the kids busy. It's literally schoolwork for my children. So do you have any friends that want to spend a few months just like dicking about and being silly on a movie set, where they get to like be like Gene Wilder and oh, Madeline Kahn. I just adore Madeline Kahn. I loved her so much. She was so talented, so incredibly funny. I was devastated when she died. I've loved her my whole life. Mel Brooks, Gary Marshall, just, they were so inspiring to me. Laverne and Shirley, Hocus Pocus. Oh, it's just so inspiring to me as a child. So yeah, and now that inspiration, it's like it's turned into fairy dust. And I'm holding the fairy dust in my hand and I'm blowing it, and it's just scattering like stars in the sky. And each one that you look into is a different movie, a different book, a different game, a different TV show, a different song. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I love the world I live in. Oh, so anyway, yeah. So I'm going to work on that, and we'll see where this goes. But if not, yeah, because what, you know, oh God, this is so cheeky of me. I'd love for him to be a judge on my Talent's Got the Idol factor. Talent's Got the Idol factor. I'd love to say to him, it's just he's on tour all this year, so I don't know how that would work, but I would love it if he might have a friend, because like when it comes to music and that, he'd know what to look for the music talent, and it would also help put him out there more and drum up more sales for him. Even if we could do the Talent Factor Idol shows like in the places where he's touring around Europe and all that, I don't know. So I could fit into his schedule, I don't know. He's literally the only other person I know that kind of lives in my world. It's just, yeah, thanks to Martin and Musk, eh? Anyway, we'll see what happens. The Lord knows what he's doing. It's just his name means the chosen one. Depending on which interpretation, the chosen one, God is merciful, Prince, Lord, Fighter. It's like he was born to do this with me. It's just I just hate the fact that he got ripped away because of other people. It's so unfair. Because like I could have, the school could have been getting built by now. I could have gotten just like anyway, divine timing. It's just maybe it's just wishful thinking. But I think that's what my dream meant. Follow the cello brick road. Because whenever I listen to his music, and like Brahms and Bach and all of that, it's like psychedelic to my brain. It opens up all these portals of creativity for me, and I can't shut it off, and I don't want to, because these are like multi-billion dollar ideas. They all tie in together. It's all for the children. It's all to give back to the children and to be charitable and philanthropic, and so I can't stop it, because that's when I ascended. Remember, I got the Midas touch. I was granted the Midas touch, so everything I touch turns to gold stardust. So yeah, if I could have a wish other than getting justice, so that I can get my money and get out of here, I would wish for Yodok Cello to drop in my lap. So I can be like, can you work with me, please? Please, Yodi. Yodi Pody Bear. Anyway, so I'm going to go and think up this story. The flat smells like roses, because I'm conjuring, I'm calling her down. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, here we go. Here's another one. Here's another one I've created. Let's see where this goes. I'll speak to you later. Ka kite anō. Mwah.